Hi, I'm Gabby Hanna with William Ravis Real Estate. In these dramatic times, are you thinking about the quality of your life and where you live it? I'm here to help. Call 917-696-8952. We can have a Zoom chat and find out how I can help you live your dream. 5% of any closed sale will be donated to the Provincetown Theater.
Serving eclectic and delicious meals at your community year-round waterfront restaurant, Fineezy's is a longtime supporter of the arts on Cape Cod and beyond. So when the time is right, come take a seaside seat at Fineezy's.
Budget Blinds Mid and Outer Cape Cod is proud to support the community we serve. Remember, we design, we measure, we install, you enjoy.
Hello, Scott Allegretti here. Congratulations to everyone at the Provincetown Theater for an amazing renaissance. Please consider giving back to the arts community, and please stay healthy and strong. Thank you.
When visiting the Outer Cape, the lobster pot is a Provincetown tradition you will not want to miss. Enjoy a beautiful harbor view meal in one of our 2 waterfront dining rooms, starting daily at 11:30 a.m., offering the finest and freshest in seafood, Portuguese specialties, steaks, poultry, vegetarian, light fare, and of course, our award-winning clam chowder. The entire menu is also available for takeout. Or just pop in at the top of the pot bar for one of our famous Bloody Marys or other signature drinks. The Lobster Pot, family owned and operated for 41 years. We're all working differently for now, but for all of us at Siemens Bank, we continue to be inspired by our experience with so many local businesses and families whose hard work and commitment to each other and to the community show the way to getting through this together. When looking to visit Provincetown, look no further than the Somerset House Inn. With charming, modern lodgings in the ideal Provincetown location, the Somerset House Inn is situated on Commercial Street, just across from the Cape Cod Bay. Within walking distance to shops, art galleries, restaurants, and the beach, the Somerset House Inn is open year-round. Advertising support for our season includes Kinling Grover Real Estate, The Boat Slip, Burns & Levinson, Joe DiMartino at Caldwell Banker, Pat Schultz Real Estate, the Lexvist Group, including the Cape Cod Inn, Breakwater Hotel, and Truro Cottages, the Adam Peck Gallery, Emily Flax at Atlantic Bay Sotheby's, Relish Bakery and Sandwich Shop, Tim Brown at Seascape Realty, Victor's Restaurant, Lisa Bergeron at William Ravis Real Estate, Test and Treat, Blue Day Spa, Joel Harms at William Ravis Real Estate, P-Town Hacks, Cape Air, and the Strangers and Saints Restaurant, plus the major support of the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, the Cape Cod 5 Foundation, the David Adams Schoolman Trust, the Eastman Bank Charitable Foundation, Mass Humanities, the Paulette Fund, the Provincetown Tourism Fund, the Roy Cockrum Foundation, the Theater Community Benevolent Fund, and of course, donations from audiences like you.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm David Drake, the Artistic Director of the Provincetown Theater, and thank you for tuning in, clicking on to the 11th Annual 24-Hour Plays. This is an event that we've been doing, obviously, 11 years with the Provincetown Playwrights Lab, which is our local group of writers, regional writers that meet here who develop their new plays, their one-acts, their full-lengths, and this year they produce every year this particular event to, again, develop their playwriting, which this year is a little different, as you can see. One thing I do want to say is that last year we charged $20, so we have a suggested donation this year of $20 if you can give. If you can't, we understand, that's fine. We stream everything here at the theater for free, all suggested donations. If you can give more, terrific. We love you even more. But it's not necessary, like I said. So to explain how the 24-hour plays work, I'm going to introduce a producer from the show who has been producing it the last few years, Mr. Frank Visello.
Hi, my partner Nathan Butera and I have been producing this event for the lab for about 5 years now. And many of you know that normally what happens is we meet, the writers get a topic, they get their actors, they go home and write a play, and it all goes on the next day. Obviously this year we had to do things a little differently. So what we did was we decided we would do Zoom plays. So each writer was given 3 actors and then was tasked to write a play that would be totally a Zoom call between those characters. And they were filmed over the last week, and that's what you'll be seeing this evening. So we did a similar process. We put the names in a hat, pulled the names. Instead of props this year, we decided to give each writer a topic. So we also pulled the 5 topics for each writer to consider as they wrote their play. I want to introduce Diane Hamilton from the Provincetown Playwrights Lab.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Nathan, and thank you, David and Tom behind the camera. This is a collaboration, and we all work together within 24 hours, and we have so much fun. This year I'm going to act. But the Provincetown Playwrights Lab, it's been around since the 80s, and we meet twice a month, and we bring our whatever part of our plays that we've written, and we get our actors either there, other people, or we bring them in ourselves, we read, and then we get feedback. So we have such a great time. So please enjoy the show. Thank you all for coming, and break a leg, everyone.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, you're funny, lady.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Too bad Dad didn't get to listen to that.
He's mellowed. He'll listen to a show tune or Moonlight Serenade.
So many things he missed out on.
All quiet on the Western Front there?
Yeah, Charlie's binky fell out. I changed the diaper, restored said binky, and I'd say he's good until Jen gets back. So, where were we?
Oh, you're a good puppy.
I'm Nana, Nana.
Right.
What you got there, kiddo?
Oh, turn off on the rocks. And don't tell me ask me if I know what time it is. I've been telling time since I was knee-high to a bottle of Absolute.
Well, you swore by that stuff, said it didn't give you hangovers.
I think I said ulcers. But now that I have ulcers and not much money, no need for the fancy stuff.
An ulcer? You never told me that.
Well, I exaggerate, not about the money.
Well, we have room for you here. Room, board, your own bathroom.
Thanks, but I'm good with my books, a stinky old cat, and it's just a bike ride away.
Even in this weather?
Yep.
How's the apartment?
Well, with my new space heater, I can barely breathe, see my breath in the morning. What time is it?
Well, your clock skills are a little shaky.
Time is on my side. Yes, it is.
Well, you're full of piss and vinegar.
Thank you. Maybe that's why I called him. I said, little brother, no more hiding in the California sunshine. It was time to face the music. I said,
which means in practical terms?
Oh,
fuck, really?
And good morning to you, Sister Edie. Lucy, thanks for the invite.
Well, sorry for the outburst, but let's just say I was surprised.
When you work in my field, you grow a tough skin. So, how is everyone?
We're fine. It's Pop we want to talk about.
Well, don't include me. I mean, if Luce had said, which she didn't, I would have said, don't bother. Em has made his own decisions. We know where he stands. We'll call when the end comes.
So he's not dying?
I never said that.
No, you wrote,
Jesus.
We're doing a Zoom Sunday, 12:15, your time. Can you come? I think you should. I mean, really. It doesn't say dying, but in the context of our family, it's pretty clear.
He really has mellowed out, Em.
Is that code for lost his marbles?
No, he just got his usual shtick. It's just not as loud.
He'll even listen to me play.
Without moaning about that goddamn hillbilly guitar. I'm bet you can squeal like a pig, son. Squee! Squee!
This one's got a real pretty mouth, ain't he?
You're gonna do some praying for me, son, and you better do it real good.
What's that praying?
Are you serious? It's a blowjob.
Oh, where'd she go?
Oh, she never did like that movie.
Well, who does? I just like laughing with you.
Why didn't you tell her I was coming?
Because I'm an asshole?
Yeah, but beside that,
Well, Brother M, I was afeard that if I told her, she wouldn't come.
why does she hate me?
She doesn't.
If I showed you the tie she sent me for Christmas, you'd rethink that.
Be serious, James Emerson, whatever your name is.
Oh, don't start.
I did some research. He started out as Steinbergers, became Steins, Stines, as if that fooled anyone. And after 2 generations, you go and change your name to Stone.
In my field, it's better to be a blank slate.
Okay, but you heard it here. When they start rounding us up, that Stone business, I'll give you.
You are so dark. You won the election, Senate, House, everything.
4 years a your guy kind of shook my sense of security. I used to ask myself why the Jews stayed in Germany when all that shit started. Now I get it. Who could imagine what would happen? We came this close to Armageddon, and I'd be a fool to think that we are out of the woods.
2 things. Trump was never my guy. And for all his shit, he was a big friend of Israel.
He was a big friend of pro-Israel donors and Christian right voters. And do you know why they're such supporters?
I suppose you'll enlighten me.
Why, when we Jews control Jerusalem, the second coming begins. Paradise for them and eternal damnation and hellfire for us.
And that's got you worried.
Well, it's a dynamic that does not give me confidence.
What happened?
Nothing. I was just thirsty.
Where you been?
Well, listening to you two, and hey, brother, I don't hate you. I'm just fed up and I'm tired. You and Dad are grown-ups. I don't know why you don't speak, but I finally decided it's not my job to bring you two together. I mean, if you can't work this out, I sure can't. He's not dying, but he will. And lots of people on this planet fall out and never speak again. Maybe they walk around with a hole in their heart. Maybe they don't. And here's the thing I've come to. You two not speaking, it's put a hole in my heart. Sometimes it's a physical thing, like an aching, stabbing pain right here. And I wanted to cure it. I wanted you to fix the relationship for me. But you know what? To stop my pain, that's not your job. Saying this now, I don't know why. I suffered over what didn't concern me, and I couldn't do anything about it. I mean, no matter. So now is when, if I hug you, we could make some jokes and move on.
Virtual hug, Edie. Virtual hug, Luce.
Virtual hug, you piece of shit. Virtual hug, sis.
Hug, always hug.
Time.
like your love was all I need. Ooh, Richard!
Kim! What the hell were you thinking when you rented this place?
Well, no, Richard, look, this isn't my fault. We had Christina rent the space. Like, what's the problem? You do seem a little overdressed.
Don't you dare try to wiggle out of this. There's no power, no takeout. I can't get a car. There's no tea dance. It's like a ghost town. Do something!
Oh, okay, Richard. Okay, we'll get through this. You know, like, remember the time we were on safari and we were Lady Gaga and the tigers and everything? I mean, like,
just
we can do.
Fix it! Oh God, I'm losing power.
Okay, oh, okay. Christina, baby, turn your Zoom on right now. Your Zoom. Okay. Hey, power is out where Richard is staying, so you have to do something.
Well, hello, good morning to you too. You're not my boss anymore. I found her the place as a favor to the two of you. And the old days of stamping your feet and snapping your fingers are over. I am going to go back and finish my yogic breathing.
No. We are film people, Christina, and there are no problems that we can't solve. None. So I'm going to take a few deep breaths, pop a couple of Xanax, and when I get back on the screen, would you please solve this? You are in Provincetown and I am not.
Hello, Cape Cab. Would you please pick up a gentleman named Richard at Beach Point? There is no electricity. Where are you taking him? I don't know. Could you just go get him and I'll try to figure it out as soon as I can? Well, just drive him around. He needs to be warm anyway. Who's driving anyway? Is he hot? Well, beggars can't be choosers. Okay, send him to 2236 Beach Point. I know it's another fee. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Just go get him. How are your new accommodations? Are you pleased?
When I said cozy and by the water, Christina, I did not mean a shed with wind blowing through it. This is all right. You've redeemed yourself.
Well, that's good, because I'm thrilled to be working on Lola's shoot with you instead of Kim.
Well, thank you, Fabio. Lolo is not happy with your concept, Christina. So I have asked Kim here to help us with this project in this godforsaken place. So, what have you got for me, Kim? It better be good.
Okay. So Provincetown reminds Lola of her childhood beach summers, right? So picture this. We go up to Race Point and she flies around the beach with scarves dropping behind her. And then she can stop, right? And then her makeup is these sad eyes. And then she's lipping, "It's my fault." And then the backup singers emerge from the sea and then they start singing and then they...
What a stupid idea. Listen, there she is, laying on this fabulous sofa at the Land's End Inn, singing into the camera like a 40s ingenue. Cutaways, the fireplace.
Okay, I'm feeling the fireplace, femme fatale.
No, but she said we have to have a beach scene.
Oh, there she is now. Lolo. Hello, darling. Oh, yes, it is going to be phenomenal.
Why would you suggest the beach? sand, cold. I'm the one who is in love with this place.
It's fucking Cape Cod, Christina. We have to have a beach scene. Everybody knows that.
I'm begging you, Kim. Fireplace, one location. She can stay here.
Well, you two are lucky. Lolo went for the femme fatale idea. Book the inn.
Yes, boss.
Okay, now, what about the dance number at the breakwater?
Oh, you mean every line is lying out of focus. I can tell you.
Yeah, Yes, I would like a massage.
Oh, no, but we came up with backup moves. Oh, and they are fabulous. So let me show them to you.
Oh, no, Esther Williams. Our meeting is done. Tomorrow we'll go over locations.
Okay.
Meanwhile, oh, Fabio.
Christina, come back home, please.
I don't know what to say. I'm living my dream. Yoga, the beach, solitude.
I know this is my fault, but did you have to go without me?
You could have been here with me. No. Changing your mind at the last minute?
I love you, and I would do anything to make it up to you. You want me to come visit?
Yes. No, I don't know. Listen, I gotta go. Tomorrow.
Well then, okay, tomorrow.
Hello? I can't see anybody. Is anybody there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Why can't I see myself? I hate this Zoom crap.
Try turning on your camera.
I have a camera? Where is it?
Yes, at the bottom of your screen, you should see a little icon. It's the outline of a camera. If there's a line through the camera, it means that it's off. Can you see that little camera icon?
I think so. Oh my God, here we go.
Here we are.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was never going to see myself on screen.
Well, that's why they come to see me.
I'm sorry?
So they can see themselves on screen.
I don't understand.
Sorry, just a little joke on my part, a little acting coach humor.
I don't get it.
Never mind. So you must be Mrs. Helene de Peza.
That's right. DePizer, and Block.
And that is?
The name of my publicity firm. I said so in my email.
Right. I believe you mentioned that, yes.
We are very well known all over the world. Look for the sign of the cooing dove. Oh, Professor, I'm so glad you agreed to meet with us today. I'm absolutely at my wit's end with this girl. Nothing I can say or do can convince her. You're my last chance. She's got an important audition coming up in 2 weeks. She was born to play this part, but she's got to learn to talk better than she does.
She certainly does.
I'm sorry?
What was that? Oh, I think you froze.
I said, she's got to learn to talk better.
Not deaf, Mrs. DePeza. What is the role?
She's a Eurasian girl in British India. Oh, it's so romantic. She's in love with a handsome captain,
but she's got to be married to a nasty old Maharaja who only wants her body.
My goodness. So your
Professor,
client needs a British colonial accent for the role?
Professor, she can barely speak American. She's from, I think, somewhere south of the border. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't really paying attention exactly when she told me where she was from. I've only had her as a client for a short time. She should be joining us any minute.
I see. Well, you needn't worry. I've been a dialect coach and a speech therapist for almost 25 years.
It's wonderful.
Yes, I specialize in both BBC Standard and General American.
Terrific.
No silly mindfulness trends for me. I take the classic Skinner approach.
I'm sure you do.
Yes, I've had clients on Broadway and off Broadway and off Broadway.
That's exactly what we want.
Yes, I've also placed clients on The Daily Show, The Tonight Show, and Today.
Yes, mass exposure. Yes.
Yes, that's the idea, Mrs. DePeza. Mass exposure. Yes, I have even placed clients on Law and Order. Oh, hold on. Just a minute. Oh, Maria Sol is in the waiting room.
That's her. Maria Sol. Such a pretty name.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, honey.
Yes, welcome to our Zoom meeting, Maria Sol.
Hiya, honey.
Hello, Helen.
Now that's something we need to work on.
What?
Your aspirants,
My what?
your H sounds. You have a tendency to drop them.
I what?
You heard the man, honey. You drop your H's.
Yes, and we need to work on your T's too.
You know what? Can we back up a bit? I feel like we should be properly introduced if you're going to work on my T's, Professor Higgins.
Honey, the professor only wants to help get you ready for your audition.
Yes, we can accomplish a lot in 2 weeks if you're willing to work hard.
Of course she is.
Yes, we have a lot to overcome. In a case like yours.
Oh, do we?
Don't I know it?
Yes, it won't be easy.
Oh, tell me about it.
I'm sure. But I promise you, Maria So, that when we're through, you'll be ready for mass exposure. That's right, mass exposure.
He's helped a lot of people, honey.
Yes, we want you to appeal to the broadest possible marketplace.
But
nothing. As it is, honey, you have a lot of those Latin Spitfire roles ahead of you.
Yes. You know, the sort of thing that you're wearing a very tight skirt and with a slit up the side and a tattered blouse and maybe a black Merry Widow corset.
Oh, I love those.
Oh, don't I know it? Excuse me. So I was saying that you're barefoot and you've got that corset on and maybe you have a rose in your hair, like right behind an ear. Oh yes, and you're dancing to gypsies, clapping and hissing out lines like, "Oh, you filthy pig, you steal my people's money," to the corrupt officials squatting over on the veranda, over at the hacienda, drinking away the siesta. Oh yes. Yes. You know, that sort of thing.
wait, stop.
What's the matter, honey?
My name is Maria Sol, not Honey.
It's just a figure of speech.
Don't you want to learn to speak correctly so you can play classical stage roles?
I have played the great classical stage roles. I am a graduate of the Royal Academy of Arts in London, where I played Rosalind, Ophelia, and Cleopatra. And my voice was never an issue there.
I was told that you had trouble with pronunciation.
Yes, by her.
Now, honey, like I've said all week, I'm just looking out for your best interests.
That's right. We only want what's best for you in the marketplace.
My best interest in the marketplace.
Exactly.
Sure. How else can I earn my 20%?
20%?
We'll talk about that later.
Professor, do you even know where I come from?
It wasn't discussed exactly.
Argentina.
Oh, was that where it was?
Yes, it was.
All I know about Argentina is Evita.
Oh, I love her. I heard over there they have a whole museum just for her clothes.
Do they really? Oh, my goodness.
Yes, they do. But my country is more than that overdressed fascist.
Oh, honey, please.
Don't you honey me. Why let you talk me into this Zoom nonsense? I don't know. I have absolutely not interest in playing a girl from colonial India. I hate colonialism.
This just isn't about one role, my dear.
And I have had just about enough of your patronizing tone. Did you know that Argentina is the largest Spanish-speaking country by area, with the second largest economy in South America and the third largest economy in Latin America as a whole?
Well,
Did you know that Argentina was one of the world's richest countries before 1920? That's why they call Buenos Aires, where I was born, the Paris of South America. Because wave after wave of talented immigrants arrived in the new country after the end of our Civil War in 1861, and they brought their skills as craftsmen to beautify one of the fastest growing cities in the world.
I assure you I had no idea.
Sweetie, we just want you to fit in better with Hollywood standards. That's all.
Oh, yes, Hollywood standards. That's what's wrong with this industry. There's no diversity. Everything has to appeal to the lowest common denominator. I can't help it if I'm not a blonde sorority princess from Darien, Connecticut, or whatever it is that people who speak Hollywood English comes from. No one pressures me to be something I'm not. If I'm going to make it, it's going to be my way, on my own terms, and sounding like what I am. Being Latina never stopped Dolores del Rio or Maria Montes or Rita Moreno, did it? And Rita has an Oscar, an Emmy, a Tony, and a Grammy, doesn't she? And don't forget Salma Hayek as Frida.
Well, yes, but...
Professor, thank you for your time. Helen, I think we need to renegotiate. I'll call you when I need you. Goodbye.
Well, I don't think she needs me to teach her how to speak.
Latin Spitfire rolls it is.
Filthy pig, you steal my people's art.
What are you talking about?
I just love those old movies.
Well, hey, Cliff. You're looking good.
Well, there's no point in complaining.
Well, what do you have to complain about? You and Ruth sitting up in that mansion with the fabulous view of the ninth hole.
Well, how do you know about our view?
Duh, Facebook.
Damn. I keep telling that woman not to post pictures of our house on Facebook. It's like putting a sign on the front lawn that says, come on in and rob us.
Don't be so fuss budget. She's just proud of her home, as she should be. In the best part of Houston, I hear.
Well, yes, we're doing okay.
False modesty does not become you, cuz. I remember when you used to claim bragging rights to just about everything, from horseshoes to French kissing.
Oh, God. Oh, Carol Sue, shit. No, we were just kids then.
We were teenagers, if I recall. Kissing cousins, as one might say.
Yeah, you might.
You ever wonder what might have become of us if it all hadn't been so taboo?
Well, I never let myself think about it.
It would have killed my mama. Yours too.
You got that right.
But hey, I am so glad you are here and I get to be back in touch with you. I was so glad when you said you'd help me with the reunion, setting it all up together. And if we all get vaccinated, we could even have it in person in one of those plantations along River Road.
Well, I'm glad to help. And I'll tell you one thing. Years have been kind to you, Carol Sue.
I know how to hit touch up on Zoom.
Now I was falsely modest, huh?
Look, if we keep on going like this, we are going to break some federal law. Flirting across state lines or some such.
Yeah, well, we can't have that now, can we?
No, we can't have that. So, you want to hear about this distant cousin I found?
Well, sure.
You know how when we spoke, I told you that I was going to link our family tree to my ancestry test. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, I did, and I got a green leaf.
What's that?
What? It's a common ancestry link. Didn't you read all that stuff I emailed you?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Her, and I introduced myself, and I invited her to join us. She should be calling in a few minutes.
I see. Sorry, I just thought, I thought, you and I.
Don't die of excitement.
I just thought you and I were the planning committee. That's all.
Well, we are committed now.
Well, you know what I mean. But I will be unwaveringly polite to our distant cousin when she joins us.
Thank you. Her name's Sheila. She sounded really nice on the phone. Except.
What?
Well, promise you won't think ill of me.
Never.
Well, she has this New York accent is all.
What, a Yankee on our family tree?
Don't fun of me.
I promise I'll keep it a secret. Sorry, where's she from?
She's from one of those parts of New York where, it starts with a B, like Brooklyn or the Bronx. But her great grandmother is from Louisiana. She knew that.
Well, that's promising from your neck of the woods.
Yes, but here's the thing, Cliff, and this is why I really needed you to be in on this call. Well, what if she's, Jewish?
Jewish?
Yeah, New York, Jewish.
Well, what do you want me to do? Go out for bagels if she is?
No, stop it. I just want you to help me figure it out is all.
And then what? You're going to pluck that leaf from the family tree?
Of course not. Family is family. I just want to know is all.
Well, ask her what church she goes to.
Now, you are a pure genius. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, look, she's coming on the call. Here, let me hit the admit button.
What the heck? You're white. You're both are white.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we are.
I don't believe this.
Well, I think we're all a little surprised.
Surprised? Damn, girl. When we talked a few minutes on the telephone, I never imagined you were white.
Well, you thought Carol Sue was black.
Well, yeah. All the talk about barbecues and family picnics and mama this and daddy that and every other word was you all. But you're not even high yellow. You're white.
Yes.
And I'm related to you guys. Damn. Hold on. I got to get my family tree chart.
Can you believe this?
Carol Sue, I don't think she's Jewish.
Okay. My great-great-grandmother was born in 1850, born a slave on a plantation on the River Road.
Well, I think ancestry has made a mistake. We don't have an ancestor who was ever a slave.
You don't get it, do you? Our common ancestor was the white man who raped my great-great-grandmother when she was 15. They produced my great-grandmother.
Now, we don't know. It was rape.
Are you kidding me? She was their property.
I think what Carol Sue meant was that there is a chance, however slight, that...
I know exactly what she meant. Poor massa. He was seduced by the nubile young woman. Is that what you meant?
No. I'm sorry. I guess I just wondered if they maybe had a loving relationship.
A sort of Thomas Jefferson, Sally Heming love affair? Probably not. My great-grandmother, born in 1865, is listed as your ancestors' property. I should have known. My son told me not to get my hopes up.
What were you hoping for?
Connection, I guess. To the part of the family I never knew. To the ones in Louisiana and Texas who survived slavery and Jim Crow and white supremacists, who would welcome me and mine to their Juneteenth celebrations.
Juneteenth? What's that?
Oh my God. We really do live in two different countries, don't we? You live in Baton Rouge.
All my life.
And you never heard of Juneteenth?
I'm sorry, I can't say that I have.
Well, I mean, me neither. I'm in Houston, but maybe that's why.
June 19th, 1865. The day the news of emancipation was delivered in Galveston, Texas. In Texas! We've been celebrating Juneteenth ever since. Black people everywhere hold parties and speeches and barbecues. And you never heard of it?
Well, maybe that's why we need to know more of our relatives.
Sheila, would you come to the family reunion? I mean, if it's safe to travel by then.
Thank you for the invitation. I'll need to think about it.
Okay, you take your time, cuz.
Now I know I'm not ready for that.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overstep.
Look, you both seem like nice enough people. A little clueless, but nice enough. You grew up together, huh?
We did. Our families visited every summer.
Kissing cousins then.
Well, I wouldn't call it. I mean, I'm not sure.
Please. First boy I ever made out with was my cousin Clyde, second cousin, on our grandmother's sofa when our parents left us to mind the little ones.
Well, maybe we're not so different.
Well, you two keep visiting. I'm gonna go now. I've got to figure out how to break this news to the family. Well, bye now. Bye.
Oh, well, I was not expecting that. You were really something.
Listen, Carol Sue, the reunion is still quite a ways off. What about getting together sooner for some genealogical research? I mean, I hear the historic New Orleans collection can't be beat.
You mean meet up in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Won't Ruth mind?
Actually, Ruth and I are getting separated.
Well then, New Orleans.
Yes, Miss Carlson, everything looks good. Your blood sugar is normal. Your lipids are fantastic. You can actually brag to your friends about how good your cholesterol is. I'll transfer you to the front desk so you can follow up with Dr. Sheridan for next week. Have a great day. It was great meeting you too.
Great job, Stephanie.
You think so? I feel like I stumbled over some of the results.
No, you did fine. Telemedicine is a lot to get used to for everyone. Now, do you think that you're ready for your first video visit?
I guess so.
Don't be nervous. Just follow the prompts I gave you. And remember, it's just as weird for the patient as it is for you to have their visit this way. And don't forget, she won't be able to see me, but I will be watching the entire time and I'll be there for you if you need me.
Thank you, Dr. Sheridan.
Now, the next patient should be simple. Melanie Gardner. She just wants to discuss some upcoming referrals, and it looks like she's already checked into the virtual waiting room, and all you have to do is to log in, and we're ready to get going.
Okay, wish me luck. Excuse me, Miss Gardner?
Oh, hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't mind me. You're not Dr. Sheridan.
No, I'm sorry. I thought the medical assistant already prepped you. I'm Stephanie. I'm a student training with Dr. Sheridan. Are you all right, Miss Gardner?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just learned some very bad news. Some terrible, awful, just upsetting news.
Hold please. I'll be right back. Dr. Sheridan, I'm not sure I can do this. The patient seems really upset.
You'll be fine. You're doing great.
Maybe you should take over.
Nonsense. This is a perfect learning opportunity. Let's just start with asking her the screening questions. My MA must have not have had the chance to call the patient before the appointment started.
All right. Ms. Gardner, are you still there?
Miss Dr. Sheridan?
No, it's still me, Stephanie. Remember Dr. Sheridan's student?
Sorry. Yeah, hi.
If you're all right, Ms. Gardner, we can try to continue the televisit. I just have some quick screening questions to ask you.
Okay.
On average, in the past 2 weeks, how many alcoholic beverages have you consumed?
Well, not many, because I'm not really a big drinker.
Okay. On average, in the last 2 weeks, how often have you felt feelings of hopelessness or anxiety?
The last 2 weeks, I think once.
When was that?
5 minutes ago.
On average, in the last 2 weeks, how often have you engaged in sexual intercourse? Okay. Miss Gardner, can I call you Melanie?
Okay.
Melanie, do you want to talk about what's bothering you? Clearly, you're in some distress. Did you just get some bad news? Well, if you feel like you'd like to talk about it, I'm here to listen. Dr. Sheridan would hate for you to be so upset. And I know it sounds weird, but this would be a great learning experience for me to understand what exactly is troubling you. So are you okay to talk about it?
Okay.
The bad news, is it family, work?
Oh, it's nothing like that.
Is it a relationship you're currently in?
Yes, my boyfriend.
Okay, I think I understand. Breakups are hard. I've been through plenty. And clearly this news is still fresh based on your reaction. So take my advice that these intense feelings will pass soon enough and you'll start feeling better.
No, we didn't break up.
Oh?
No, he told me something really big, like something that he had clearly been hiding from me and from himself for a while now.
Hold, please. Dr. Sheridan, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but it sounds like maybe her boyfriend might have come out to her.
That's the vibe I got too.
This is getting really heavy, Dr. Sheridan. I'm not sure I'm qualified to handle this amount of drama.
Well, Melanie Gardner is usually very tight-lipped. I feel like I'm pulling teeth anytime I try to discuss her family medical history with her. So she's clearly opening herself up to you.
Isn't this unethical? I'm studying family medicine, and this feels more like therapy.
Well, let's see if you can steer the conversation back to the medical. And clearly she's frustrated with her relationship, and this could be an opportunity to discuss some sexual or behavioral options. Trust me, you're doing great.
Melanie, are you still there?
Mm-hmm. I'm here.
So he just told you?
Mm-hmm. He just texted me right before this call.
He texted you? Wow. Well, I'm sure it was difficult for him to open up to you, and it's difficult for you to accept he didn't have a choice. It was something that he had to do.
Oh, no. He had a choice.
Excuse me?
No. He totally had a choice. He could have waited until after this weekend to tell me, or he could have not told me at all. I mean, like, would our relationship really suffer that much if he didn't tell me? I mean, couldn't he just let me be happy not knowing?
I don't think that would have worked, Melanie. That wouldn't be healthy for either of you. He needed to come out to live his life honestly and admit to you his sexual orientation, even if it meant ending your relationship.
No. Oh, he didn't come out, like out of the closet.
He didn't come out?
No, he told me something totally crazy. I still can't believe he said it.
What did he say?
He told me that he hates Valentine's Day.
That's all?
What do you mean that's all? I mean, it's my favorite holiday. I had so much planned for this weekend. A romantic dinner and a nice bottle of wine and snuggling up with a movie. And I even bought new lingerie, like really nice lingerie. I mean, how can anyone hate Valentine's Day? It's got chocolate and teddy bears and my favorite color, pink. I mean, hating Valentine's Day is like hating sunshine or bananas or Meryl Streep. It's impossible to hate Valentine's Day.
I don't think it's that impossible. I don't really like Valentine's Day that much.
Oh, you don't?
It's a pretty commercialized holiday. It gets overly romanticized in movies and TV, But really, it's just another day, same as the others. There's so much pressure to buy a romantic gift or a card or make the day special. Maybe your boyfriend doesn't hate the holiday, he hates the pressure that comes with it. You should just use the day as an excuse to enjoy your relationship for what it is.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I've been overly dramatic. Did you say you're a medical student?
Yes, I'm going to be a nurse practitioner focusing on family medicine.
Well, you're doing a really great job. You're a great listener.
I agree. Stephanie did a great job.
Oh, hi, Dr. Sheridan. There you are.
Hi, Melanie. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better. I hope you use this conversation with Stephanie to help you focus on taking care of yourself, both medically and emotionally.
I will, Dr. Sheridan. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome, Melanie.
Oh, gosh, I've been such a blubbering mess. I totally forgot why I scheduled the telemedicine appointment in the first place.
Yes, well, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Stephanie and I have to get to our next patient's appointment. So if you can call the front desk for scheduling a follow-up if you'd like.
No, wait, before you go, I have to show you. I have this spot on my knee I want you to see.
No, not now, Melanie. Maybe the next time.
Okay, it's like this weird bump, and it's like purple. Can you see it?
No, Melanie, you're not aiming the camera clearly. And also, we don't have time.
Okay, how about now? It's like been there for 3 weeks, I think.
And you're just telling the doctor now?
No, Melanie, I can't see what you're pointing at.
Okay, how about now? It's shaped like Ohio.
I'm still looking at your groin, Melanie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Talk Back After the 24-Hour Plays. Thank you for watching. I'm David Drake. I'm Artistic Director of the Provincetown Theater in Provincetown, Massachusetts. And this was our encore matinee of the 24-hour plays, which this is the 11th year. Over here, I have joined with me are the producers and directors this year of these plays. This is Frank Vasello and Nathan Butera, and we were just commenting on how it was great today. Well, we were also nervous yesterday when watching the very first one. It was all like, what's going to happen? And now we're like, oh, right, this is the show. There was a kind of ease, like when I was watching this time, for people who didn't maybe not watch it yesterday, like we did. It was fun to be to relax into it. So maybe that's the experience that everybody is having as an audience today, I hope. Mm-hmm. Also joining us here is Racine Oxtoby. She is
Hi.
The playwright of the last play that we had, which is Telemedicine. And thank you for joining us. Everybody looks great. Mm-hmm. How is watching it for you today, Racine?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I've been watching it over and over again because, it's there on YouTube now. So it's just, I'm just thrilled with the little nuances that the actors chose with everything, and it's just exciting to see it come to life. It's fun to see something that I wrote just a week ago is there. It's great.
Frank or Nathan, maybe you can explain to the viewers a little bit about how the process worked this year, different from past years, just to reiterate what that process has been like for us online this year.
Sure. In the past, we've done a 24-hour, the general format of the 24-hour plays is that the plays are written, rehearsed, and performed in 24 hours. So normally we would meet on a Friday evening and the plays would go up on a Saturday evening. Because of COVID, we sort of had to brainstorm a little bit on what to do. And this year we decided to have Playwrights write a Zoom call. So it's a play in the format of a Zoom call. So that meant that it would be generally live, like in terms of, you know, you're not going to have any jumps in time. You're going to have one call that's contained. And, you know, people have become familiar with the format of Zoom in the sense that, like, you may have 3 different people in very different places around the country even. So this sort of yearning that people might have for one another across spaces that they are loaded with when they're in a Zoom call because they're not actually together. And so we thought that that was a good way to start. And we thought instead of doing a prop, which we would have a mystery prop for the writers traditionally in the past, we would do a mystery theme, and each theme would be different. And we had the writers randomly select, or we randomly selected for them a theme. And what were the themes?
Pulled those out of a hat, like we said at the top of the show.
Right.
We literally these things were all done very traditionally, the way we would used to do them. So we were trying to be true to the nature and the rules that we've used in the past that these guys have been using.
The themes were
To Heart, which was the first play,
and that was
I'm Not Dying.
I'm Not Dying.
Right.
The second one was It's Not My Fault.
Right.
Which was
The third one was Peer Pressure.
Right.
The fourth one was
It's a Secret.
It's a secret. Right.
And the last one was Coming Out.
Right.
And Racine, who wrote that last play, why don't you explain a little bit how you worked around that idea of coming out, and whereas we would traditionally think of it as, you know, a gay thing, you know, a closet thing.
Yeah, you had sent an email out, I think, a week before, just letting us know what the themes would be, and that one of those would be like randomly selected. And I remember Coming Out was not one that I was expecting.
Why don't you explain a little bit how you worked?
Somebody's got an audio on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had sent an email out. Oh, hearing it back. Is that good? Okay. So Coming Out was one that I was not expecting because I knew that I wanted to set it in a medical sense, and I'm like, how am I going to fit coming out into that? But I also knew that I wanted it to be a comedy because given just how ridiculous the whole Zoom 24-hour theater, you know, it's a good opportunity to write something that's a little bit more fun. You know, we're not writing, you know, Shakespeare. We're not expected to. So I figured, you know, like, well, what's the weekend? Well, it's Valentine's Day. What's the craziest thing that someone could come out? It was that they hate Valentine's Day, and that would really ruin someone's weekend. So yeah, I just sort of went in that direction. It was just sort of like, what's the most ridiculous thing that someone could come out as having, or something that they're revealing about themselves that would make a fun play.
Also, I just want to point out that down here in the corner we have Diane Hamilton, who is the in charge of steering committee of the Provincetown Playwrights Lab, which they've been producing this event for 11 years now. We've done it. We've made it online. And also joining us here is Michael Enright. Is that you there?
Mark,
I'm sorry. Mark and Ira Brodsky. We have a writer and an actor from one of the pieces here. What was your experience, Ira, as a playwright? Had you ever written a Zoom play before, a play for specifically Zoom, or using that context?
I did, probably a couple of months ago, partly because I wanted to do some writing, and there's no outlet for a regular play right now. So but it was just something that I wrote. It didn't get produced. So this is the first time I've written something for Zoom that I've actually got to see produced, which was wonderful.
Oh, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, how was that experience? I mean, Racine was just talking about her experience with, you wrote it a week ago and now it's up on the boards, or
yeah,
on viral.
It's for the world to see. Yeah.
For the world to see. How does that feel?
And I also, you know, I know Racine said this as well. I think it was Racine, you know, that having the pressure of having to get something done in that little bit of time brought me to something that I would not have come to otherwise. And it was really interesting to me. And it's something that I'm going to continue. I mean, you just do what you can do in that little bit of time.
Right.
But I really want to now take the time and kind of see what else is there. So it was great for that reason as well.
Yeah, I think all of us are sort of experimenting with that. Like, when we first started using Zoom or online connection with our audiences, whether it was or just our friends and our people or business, or in our case with the Provincetown Theater, to give you a show, give you some entertainment while you're out there disconnected from us and not able to come into our building. It was like an emergency thing. Like, well, we'll do this for now and then we'll get back to normal. And now for 12 months later, it's become part of our DNA in a way. And I'm certainly learning things about directing, acting, writing, producing, all the different elements of like, well, what's this toolkit got that we can use maybe live, or vice versa, we can use to make it look live here. Does anybody want to speak about maybe any of the things they've learned doing this year's rather than in past years, either as an actor or a writer or a director?
Well, I was actually thinking about this earlier today. Just, usually for the 24-hour theater, it's this big thing. You got to like get everyone's schedules together. Everyone needs to agree to be at the same place at the same time for a full weekend and really commit their time. But I think the fun of doing it this year is we could all kind of we could be at home. We could be in a completely different state. It almost kind of opens it up. Like we could just sort of keep this same medium going and do more 24-hour theater, in the next couple of months. I'm absolutely game for writing more Zoom plays. I loved it. I had a great time.
Diane, what about you?
I'd like to, well, I had a wonderful time. It was a lot. It was a lot more. Was it more work? Well, that last day when we rehearsed and did takes, that was very intense. But I want to ask the directors, you and Nathan and Frank, how was it different? Because you went through the whole thing every single day.
Well,
and please let us know what your thoughts are about directing Zoom plays.
Well, one of the things that was interesting, because we've done work for the theater and stage, and we've also filmed things for television. This is neither of those things. If you were filming something for TV or a movie, you would edit it and you would have a close-up of someone's reaction to some news they're getting. And here it was generally all the characters on screen, mostly at the same time, without edits. And so you're thinking of, what are other people doing while people are talking and keeping it interesting. And so that was a little different because it was sort of its own, little challenge that way. But I think, really enjoyed the experience of doing it. It was convenient to be able to do it from home. It allowed some people who probably couldn't participate, well, at least several who live in other states, to participate. And that was kind of fun to, bring people into the community. And, we shortened the program. Normally we do 7 plays. And we thought, if people are home watching, let's try to keep it to an hour. That felt like a manageable time commitment, for people viewing at home. So that was another thought. You want to talk a little bit about directing the actors?
Well, one of the things that I'll take what Frank was saying and expand a little bit on it, which was, for example, with Racine's play, there was, and Racine wasn't able to join us. So normally we would, like we did with Ira, we would have the writer come on during the rehearsal. We would do a read through, have the writer comment on it and answer questions, and sort of help guide us and shape the play in terms of tone and how they saw even if there's sort of a genre type, how they saw that, because we wanted to be really truthful to their intentions. But for Racine's, because she wasn't there, so one of the choices we'd made, which was the teaching doctor, the teaching physician, there was in the script the suggestion that when the student and the patient were talking, that the instructing physician would be off screen, or her square would be black. And we thought it might be more interesting to have her on screen the entire time, but not be seen by the patient, so that we get 3 different streams of action going at once, and you can kind of look around and see not just who's talking between the patient and the student, but you can also see the physician's reaction to what's happening. And I thought it made it richer and interesting. I think that people, viewers and audiences, are more sophisticated these days with multiple screens, and they're able to kind of process all these sort of different streams of activity at the same time. And that was what I think was the one biggest change in terms of how is this different from TV, film, and stage. You know, you have everybody in close-up, and you see not only the person talking and the reaction, but you see them like at the same time in real time. And so that was interesting to play with and different. So that was everybody in close up, and you see not
Somebody has their YouTube on, so if you could turn your YouTube off, and then just be on here.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick to that, because I did imagine it with the doctor being off camera, but yeah, Mary Chris brought something really fun to it, which was there's a part where Tia said that she hates Valentine's Day, and the doctor just leaned back like, oh, like, which was not a reaction I had ever expected to see, which worked so well. I thought it was so fantastic.
Yeah, Nate, you bring up a really interesting point in directing, which is for me, because I only directed one of them, and because they had a dog appointment, so I said I'll take whatever's on Wednesday during Carlo's appointment, and glad to help out, because I like to learn how to do these things as well. But this was something that we all discussed with Diane at an earlier meeting. And just to be clear with viewers to update anybody who's coming in, each play got a different day. We didn't spend more than one day on each play. So therefore, like, they wrote it in a 24-hour period, then we got the scripts, no more changes. I mean, tweaks in rehearsal, but not like, oh, rewrite this and redo this, and here's a new play, I just wrote it yesterday. And then each play would get like 3 to 4 hours of rehearsal in the morning to early afternoon, a break, and then it would be filmed for like 3 to 4 hours, something like that. I think we took 2.5 hours or 3. We filmed it like 3 times, the one that I did, Candace's play, Kinfolk, and that Sylvia was in, and Dave Wallace down here was in, and if you'll notice, John Anderson, who was in Ira's play. So we've got cast members from a lot of the different ones here too. And then that was it. We filmed it and chose the best take straight through, like Nate is saying, no cuts. It is interesting to see like where we look when we're watching, you know. I mean, it taught me about focus. I mean, I know how to focus that on stage. I know how to push an actor into a light, pull light away, do stage pictures. But when we're doing pictures here, it's difficult. I mean, you know, there's different ways of doing it. You can go further away and we can still be talking like this, or you can come right up in it. And in fact, at the beginning of the piece with Sylvia, to throw the audience off at the beginning of ours, it was a phone call. I wanted it to look like that she was dialing up, that she was in charge of the action of the piece, and that he was getting online. So he was following her to the conversation rather than lights up, both of them are equal. So we had this, and to throw the audience off a little bit, I had her do like what you do before you talk to somebody that you want to look good for. She did a little like lipstick thing in the thing, and then was like, well, hi, how are you? And he's getting into place. So we didn't know where we were. We didn't know what the relationship was. And it made us kind of lean in. Who are these people? What is this? Not just with words, but with behavior. And because I knew we were going to be watching them, and people are used to that sloppiness with Zoom. So I kind of wanted to lean on it a little bit and pull it in to disarm the audience as a director. So it was interesting to see, what can I do? What can she do? What can he do? Things like that. And like I asked him, would he get a mug? You know, just be like, I'm here, as a kind of behavioral piece too. We weren't sure where it was going. And then when Sally pops in, then she says in the script, Sheila's in the waiting room. We know that she let this guy in at the beginning, so she's in charge of letting people in. And it wasn't a scripted thing. It was more of a, how do you set the stage, you know, and what tools do we have? If it were done on stage and she was welcoming her cousin into the house, for instance, then she would get ready before, open the door, he would walk in, you know, to do that. And then knock, 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 Sheila would arrive, you know, 5 minutes later. So it was interesting to find these characters and what they're doing in their space too, to me. That was new to me. And I love that on stage. I love watching actors come up with business. You know, they're, you know, like who was Mark, the one that, was it the one you're in? No. I'm thinking of the other showbiz one.
The one where he's in the dark?
No, I was thinking of the one with the phone, Marcy Feller with the.
Oh yeah.
That was Mark. The phone business. I don't know where that came from. Was it in the script, Nate?
No, Frank added that. He thought she should be busy.
Yeah, it made sense.
Right.
And it enforced her really not listening to her client.
Right.
That she should be on her phone to like actually pay attention to what this woman is about, what this woman is saying, what's going on between her and the Professor Higgins. Like it made her, it fit the character, you know, really well, rather than her just sitting there like that the whole time. You know, so thank you.
Actually, the actor we were talking about it, was filing her nails. You know,
nobody really does that, right?
And then we thought, wait, no, she's in LA. She wants to get this over with. She needs to be doing something else. And you're right. She doesn't listen to her client. She doesn't know where her client's from. The client's told her 5 times. And so she's preoccupied with her next meeting, her next client.
Right.
Got to go. So
it was very modern. I thought it was exactly right. And as a publicist, you would be on the phone all the time. You know, you would be talking to people all the time. That's all they do.
As an actor in the show, I found it to be fun to watch it last night because, I mean, as I rehearsed, I didn't see the other actors, truly, because the way I had it set up was my script was on my computer screen, and and I had it by the camera. So I listened in the rehearsals, but even in the recording. So I didn't really get to see Sandra or Marcy fully until last night. So that was kind of fun for me.
Well, you couldn't tell from the way you were acting. I thought you were all looking at each other.
Yeah.
It was good.
Acting.
It was acting, yes. We have Laura Shabbat, who's down here. She's one of our writers as well. And Sandra Paradas, who was in the play we were just talking about with Mark. If you want, she plays the classical actress. You want to say hi. Speaking of actors, why don't we ask the actors a little bit about their experience? What was the most challenging aspect of doing the Zoom performances for you? John? Sandra? Sylvia?
For me personally, I didn't know what to expect because, you know, like when you're acting like that, you don't have the opportunity to look at your cast members to the eye and talk with them about the script. So like I really didn't know what to expect, but it was actually it just happened so natural, even though we have never done it before, or I had never done it before. I feel the play just developed itself so naturally because we were like just focused on developing our character. And when we saw the other one bringing like new things to their character, it just it gives you like an impulse to put something yourself. And it was very interesting. It was very nice. And I wished I had the opportunity to meet my cast members in person because I just loved working with them. It was a lot of fun. And at the beginning of the play where I am, it's only the other cast members, just both of them, and I'm not there. But it was funny because I will laugh at all the jokes. Like I was right there laughing, and then I just like, okay, now it's my turn, and I go to Nicole and into character. So it is challenging just at the beginning when you don't know what to expect, and after that, it just develops very nicely.
Yeah. Well, it was good too because it must be interesting for you because you're in conflict with both of those characters. And so having this not being able to get through to them because you're in a technological medium, you're sort of imprisoned in your place, like, listen to me, listen to me, you know. And, it probably adds that you can't actually get to them. You know,
yeah.
If you were in the room, you might be able to shake some sense into them through your words. What about the two of you that I directed, David and Sylvia? You two also grew your relationship over the course of that rehearsal and shooting. Do you have what was your experience with that?
I was really nervous when the script landed. Well, Candace had first asked me if I could do a Southern accent. So when I got it and I taped it once, I did. I was channeling Gone with the Wind. So then I was like researching and I was asking, and she said, oh, no problem. Dave is an accent coach. And it was still like too far off for me. And I didn't want to get off book with the wrong accent. So I called my cousin, my baby cousin, who happens to live in Scotland now, but she's from Georgia. And she read it, and then she just coached me, and she just kept saying it was really, really not pronounced. You know, it definitely was not Mississippi. I mean, I can't tell you how snooty. No, no. So I worked on it a lot, and that was the hardest thing for me. And then Candace Monday said, oh, she was changing the script, and then I didn't know what to do because I didn't know how to get off book, and miserably not off book. And I work from an iPad, so I couldn't do that thing, which is brilliant about putting it up on half the screen.
Right.
I don't know how you do it, Dave. I don't know how you were doing it because you looked up, maybe you were off book, but you totally never looked like you were reading. And Sally didn't either. I was the only one where at a certain point you saw the big, script. And the director now.
David Wallace, how did you do that? Was that hard to do?
No, actually, I don't think so. You keep on thinking back to the cover of the New Yorker. There is so little that is on screen, that is visual, and you can hide. There's so much you can hide with this in this situation because you've got such a narrow scope as opposed to walking out on stage and there you are, for the world to see, and there's no going back on it. There's no hiding the script. There's no nothing. You're just there and you have to deal. But as I said last night, and I think this is kind of important, the nature of the 24-hour play series is such that you don't have time really to get locked into mistakes, into bad character choices, into concepts that don't really go along with the entire play, because the entire play actually is happening right now, and it doesn't have there's no time to sort of learn bad habits. So to that part, it feels a lot easier. There's a certain release from that. Yes, and you can only see what I'm letting you see behind me.
Right.
The three people who are doing a shirka dance over here, you can't see them. So there it is.
John, is that you've done some of this before online, have you not?
Yeah, I've done several Zoom plays, and a new challenge that I encountered this time was Ira wrote my entrance to be on my iPhone, not my laptop, and to be moving around, sorting mail and opening the refrigerator. And so I was trying to figure out how I was going to do all that while I was holding my iPhone. And we quickly decided that it just wasn't as practical as we had hoped. And so I just went to my laptop where I could have my script on half the screen. And I just picked the whole laptop up as I entered and sat down to suggest a little bit of the dynamic movement.
Right.
Yeah. So that was an interesting adaptation process to figure out, what you can get away with and what, is actually really logistically difficult to pull off.
But you've done some other play readings. Isn't that true? Online?
Yes. We did 5 A.R. Gurney plays. I was in 2 of them, and 3 of them I was sort of a co-director for. And then I did Chris Harder's play.
Right.
So each one presented different, and there was a steep learning curve with each one of them because I was getting used to the whole medium. This time I was a little more comfortable with the whole idea of having a script on half my screen. And I still struggle a little bit with where my eyes are going, because even though it's all pretty much face forward, when I watch it, I can tell that I'm, little eye movements are going over to the script.
Right. I know it really, there's nowhere to hide online. There's nowhere to hide. The camera picks up everything. But those plays, like I know Chris's play, so it's not a Zoom play. It takes place in different things. So how was this different that it was a Zoom play versus a non-Zoom play as an actor?
Yeah, we had more, it was more forgiving because we knew if things were kind of wonky, that's the way it is on Zoom.
Right.
So with Chris's play, we had to do a kiss, and we had props, and we had, different environments. And so people were moving from one area of their living space to another to suggest different locales.
Oh, interesting.
So there was none of that this time, which simplified it quite a bit.
I think the biggest challenge in the whole thing as an actor was, for me, you have this engagement with an audience when you're on stage. And that's completely doesn't exist here. So it was hard to know, like, for timing and for, were people listening, whatever. And the idea of just being on such a small space is like, okay, how do I fill that? And then, especially with Reagan's play, I mean, it was kind of broad, right? So, like, how big is big on Zoom, or too big?
Well, I don't know, Reagan, why don't you talk a little about that process for you?
Oh, well, honestly, Mark, I loved your performance. I thought what you did with the character was take what I had written and just fly with it. And the tone for me was just right. We had to do several run-throughs in the rehearsal process to sort of get the right kind of pacing to keep up with the dialogue, because it was very fast-paced and written in a very, very broad characters. So I thought the whole thing was beautifully executed.
Yeah, in fact, pace was a really interesting thing here too. One of the things that having a live audience, to speak to Mark's point too, and all of you know this, is that the audience kind of fills some of that space with their energy.
Yeah.
And also because if you're doing a comedy like Reagan's or Laura's play as well, those jokes need to go to a certain place and then be received back. And we're all aware of the spatial relationship, but here it's like bang, 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 because it's all directly, you're right next to each other, and we're all enclosed this way too. So it's an interesting comedy. And it's different from what Nathan and Frank were talking about with television, in that you can tell you where to look with with a camera on the movies. You know, like I just watched the new Drew Barrymore movie, The Stand-In, this past week, and you know the director is going, look at her here, look at this, look at here, look at they're doing all these tricks to get the jokes because it's a comedy. So the pacing is actually in the editing rather than in the performance here. But the skilled quality of our stage actors is that a lot of them have a sense of what that means. Like I was lucky with mine, with Sally and Sylvia and Dave, is that moment when they all are on screen together for the first time should land like a laugh, because it's not what you're expecting, because Sally is Black and these two people are white and no one knows that this is coming, right? And then that's, where does it go? And then Sally takes the lead on that with that character. So it was, and we had something that was there that was like a fumble with a sound thing in the script that we ended up cutting, because I thought just jump cut right to her expression was funnier than the gag of of being unmuted, which is kind of it's a tech gag, but it's unworthy of the actors. I thought, you know, it's better just to go right to the actors, as always, to me, you know, because we are in the hands of them. They are leading us. You know, we writers and directors are helpless when it comes to the actors, right? Laura, what was your experience with doing this whole thing? You haven't really written for Zoom and you haven't written plays in a little while, but you are an accomplished writer in a lot of mediums.
Well, thank you. I had written a few plays in the early 2000s when I was acting as well. But what I just want to acknowledge Thomas. Editing this is hard.
The man put it all together.
Yes.
My technical director here at the theater. God bless you, Tom Cover.
God bless you. Because, you know, I made one film and it aged me 10 years. Now, I, you know, have recovered, but oh my God. Anyway, so the thing is with Zoom's not even television. Zoom's not even film. Zoom's not YouTube. It's not TikTok, right? And so to do this and to do some, I work on Zoom teaching for Pam and at Castle Hill. It was my pivot during COVID. So I've spent a lot of time on Zoom with people being emotional, but it hasn't been a medium for expression like this. And so I noticed this with Racine also, who works on Zoom, that we both used the fact that we work in Zoom and we put that creatively into the play. And I just want to thank Thomas. I did a lot of cutaways and, you know, and it was a hard edit. And I just really appreciate him for doing that.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom Cover.
Can Tom come online and we can?
He might be in his pajamas by now asleep.
Oh, Thomas, thank you so much.
Just to sort of wrap up here, I do want to put a plug in for the Provincetown Playwrights Lab. And speaking of writing things in the future, if you are interested in joining the lab and seeing where we might create some sort of virtual space for you all to meet more regularly again while we're being safe from COVID. And Diane, is there some place that people can write to or contact you? Or you can contact us at the theater and we'll put you in touch with Diane. But
that's good.
But also, Diane, is there any email or Frank?
Or you can be like Celia and just suddenly appear on the mailing list.
We had one of our actors just sort of appear.
What a gift.
Well, you can see my name. It's Diane Hamilton, and Diane does not have an E. So it's very simple, one word, Diane Hamilton at msn.com.
Or if you want to write to me at the theater, it's david@provincetowntheater.org on our website. And we'll put you in touch with Diane in the lab and see, like, as Laura was talking about, some of these panels and stuff, maybe we are able to engage further so we don't stall. Speaking of not stalling, Ira, I think you're going to be doing some more. You're going to keep developing your play. Is anybody else here going to develop these ideas further from this little nugget that you just created?
Well, I had one of my, because I work at Outer Cape Health, and I actually had one of my coworkers who's a provider tell me that a nurse practitioner would never be a medical student. So I'm like, oh, great. So like the one position I gave the student to be was wrong. So if I ever did decide to revamp it and rewrite it down the road, at least I know I can fix that and then have little tweaks here and there.
I totally bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it. Tamara and Nathan, the two of you with Racine, the confidence was complete for me.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I remember I had a professor in college saying, even if you don't know what the line means, if you say it loud enough, everyone will think you do know what you mean.
Yeah.
All the plays were really strong, you know. And I just want to acknowledge it really was a cohesive offering and very high quality.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much more today because I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
So Ira, are you going to develop your piece? Is that what I've heard? Is that true?
Yes,
or not?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
you are. Okay. Great. Well, it's nice to have been a model for that, Mr. Anderson, and all of you. I look forward to the lab continuing.
Thank you,
and also the 24 hours. We're going to discuss this week to see if possibly we'll be able to leave it on our platform later. After.
There's a mosquito story slam coming up.
Oh,
February.
really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Then go to that too. Okay. Well, thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
David. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Is
Laura.
Diane. Thank you, Diane.
Oh,
Bye. Have a great one.
bye. Oh, thanks, Tom.